President Trump's team is full of strong women, and I find it was so disrespectful, some of the things that were said in the middle of the campaign by men, by the way. So anyway, I look forward to working with all of them, all the
So,
strong
I
women on
mean,
the Trump
you can
train.
say
So,
that, but at the same time, a jury found him
thank
liable
you.
for sexual abuse. Penny Nance, you are the CEO and president of Concerned Women for America. You're named as one of the top 4 most powerful pro-life female voices, and you also served on President Trump's Life Advisory Council. How do you feel about Trump winning the election? I'm sure you're quite happy about it.
Well, yes, thank you, Joanna, for giving me the opportunity. Yes, Concerned Women for America is the nation's largest public policy organization for women. We have about 500,000 members around the country. These are legitimate grassroots women who love God and love their country and love their family. We also have Young Women for America, which is our collegiate chapters, and we have over 300 of those around the country on college campuses everywhere. And yes, we have been longtime Trump supporters. And, you know, last night, of course, was very exciting for all of us. A lot of prayer, a lot of time went into this election. Our ladies are the women who are willing to go door to door and door knock for the candidate of their choice, or willing to phone bank at Concerned Women for America. We did things like we were able to buy 110 billboards in the state of Pennsylvania in the key counties near churches that reminded Christians to vote. So every Sunday for the past 3 Sundays when they drove to church, they saw a couple of different messages, and one said, God created male and female. Stand up for your daughters and vote. And also the other was 40 million Christians don't vote. Pray about it.
We saw that in the exit poll, 2 in 10 women said abortion was the most important issue in regards to this election. In terms of Kamala Harris's concession speech that we've just heard, she said that she will not stop the fight for women's rights to their bodies. But now that Trump has won the election, do you think that fight's over?
Well, first, let's clarify. It's not their own bodies we're talking about. We're talking about 2 different people. There's a woman and there's a baby.
But
and
it also includes their bodies, doesn't it?
Much of what, this is our perspective, much of what was happening last night had to do with late-term abortion. Kamala Harris is undeniably in favor of abortion with no limits. They were very clear on this issue. That is not a winning issue, and it's not in line with the vast majority of Americans. If you look at the polling data, most Americans do not support abortion past the first trimester. We're pro-life. This issue brings both kinds of women to the polls, right? We vote on this. This is an enthusiasm issue for us and brought us to the polls on behalf of Donald Trump. Now, what we know, what Donald Trump has said, that, you know, he's not in favor of a federal ban on abortion, and we're working this out in our country on a state-by-state basis. That's a healthy place to be, because now at least we can go make our case using science.
Looking at America, for example, I mean, I know that you've said that you were disappointed that Trump wouldn't veto or would veto a ban on nationwide abortion. Have you spoken to Trump about what steps he might take in terms of going towards banning abortion in more degrees across states, potentially nationwide? What has he said to you about that?
Well, like almost anyone, I would never disclose private conversations I have with the President of the United States. But let's also look at the numbers. We deal in reality here at Concerned Women for America. We do not have a veto-proof majority in the Senate. We don't even know at this point if we actually have control of the House of Representatives. So the top issue when it comes to life at Concerned Women for America is something everyone, regardless of their position on abortion, should be. And that is something called life.gov. It's a very simple piece of legislation that says we spend over $1 trillion in efforts to support people who are struggling in the United States and social welfare. What if there was one place where you could go online, put in your zip code, and find out all the alternatives to abortion that already exist right now? Legal help, and there's a lot. Legal help, education, housing, health care, adoption, foster care. What if you knew all of that and then could make an informed choice? I think we would see a huge dip in abortion. And it also would allow people like us to see where are the holes. In what states do we need more resources? Where can we go in? Texas recently passed a law of $100 million in resources for women. And, we're not sure where all of that went. We know that the numbers have gone down, but how can you access that how can you access that if you're a woman in need? So that's the top priority for us. They did something similar by executive order in Joe Biden, putting online available all the abortion clinics. We're just simply asking for parity.
There will still be women, even if they are made available to those resources, who will still want to choose abortion. There's lots of cases, for example, where women have been raped or have had to have conceived a child through incest, for example, and they might not want to carry that baby to term, and abortion might be the answer to that. When we look at the statistics, banning abortion, it doesn't get rid of abortion. It further increases the number of unsafe abortions. Could you explain to me how you can sit with the idea that you want to have this nationwide abortion ban, which could ultimately result in many women's lives being put at risk or even facing death?
Well, first, I completely disagree with the premise of your question. Listen, if we could have the conversation in America where we say, okay, we're only going to allow abortions that are created by rape and incest, that's under 1%. I'd love to have that conversation, but that's not the conversation we're having here. How can they sit with the idea that they're willing to take a baby in late term, give it a shot to stop its heart, and then dismember it piece by piece? There's nothing compassionate about that. Abortion stops a human heart. Let's talk about what the science really says, and then we'll get somewhere. But at this point, we're often talking past each other because we're talking slogans, we're talking red herrings. That's not what's really happening. What's happening is the U.S. has gone very far to the left with the support of the Democratic Party, thinking that a little baby girl who has all her major organs, has fingernails and eyebrows, and can hear and respond to her mother's voice and feel pain, doesn't deserve any respect or any protection in the womb. I say that she does.
And where's the protection there for those women and girls, though? Where's the concern for them?
Yeah, where is the protection for those women and girls in the womb where they're being dismembered? Where is that?
But also the ones who are alive.
We're taking them into our homes. We're the people that walk alongside them. Did you know that women that are evangelical Christians are 3 times more likely to be foster parents and twice as likely to adopt? The other side is the group that says, let us give you abortion, move on, we don't ever want to hear from you again, and not even to give you follow-up care. Women are injured every day by the abortion industry, both physically and emotionally. They don't care.
In an article you wrote for the New York Post, you said that you found through travelling through battleground states that not a single place that you visited was wrapped up without women stressing about how they'll put food on the table and help provide for their families. Wouldn't a nationwide abortion ban just further exacerbate these issues for women?
Again, you're not talking about the reality of the situation.
But I mean, that's the reality that you found yourself, wasn't it?
There's no way at this point in the United States that would happen. But if things did change, because you know what, in our country, and as in yours, you have to bring people along with reality in the conversation. And so there's a lot of work to do. But in the meantime, if that ever did happen, it would only happen when we all have been able to create a culture of life where people welcome life into our nation, welcome people into their homes, care for the least of these. That's what we're working towards. We wish others would join us.
Another issue for women is that, people think that Trump potentially doesn't respect women. You know him personally. What would you say to women who say that?
These are the same people, by the way, who love Bill Clinton and have never met Donald Trump. He is a great supporter of women. Susie Wiles, who ran his campaign, is the second woman to ever run a winning presidential campaign. We may see the first woman White House chief of staff. President Trump's team is full of strong women, and I find it was so disrespectful, some of the things that were said in the middle of the campaign by men, by the way. So anyway, I look forward to working with all of them, all
So,
the strong
I
women
mean,
on the Trump
you can
train.
say
So
that, but at the same time, a jury found
thank
him
you.
liable for sexual
Thank
abuse.